Welcome, everyone. I'm not sure if I've ever done a tech reveal after breakdancing before, but this is a first. Kind of awesome. Everyone having a good time so far? Yeah? Awesome. Well, this is really, for me, one of my most favorite parts about Partner Summit. It's what we call our Christmas in June. It's the time where we get to launch new technology for our partners. Again, like Adam said yesterday, everything that we do here at Telarus is really partner-focused, and this is no different. One of the things that makes Telarus unique, and you guys probably all know this, is really our passion for software development. We believe that as this industry continues to evolve, there are going to be things that we have to do as agents, as master agents, and as suppliers to really automate things and streamline things so that we can all stay profitable, because we're all here for one thing, and that's to make money. Well, and to have friends too. That's always good when you're making money. Good to have all of the above. And technology and software and automation, we saw yesterday on those sales charts, some of those curves going up. The thing that we always see in technology is that the prices of everything keeps coming down. The price per meg keeps coming down. The carriers keep consolidating. What does that do? It drives their costs down. So what that means for us is we have to be able to keep our MRR up. We have to sell more. We have to sell things that are bigger, things that are more complicated. And in order to do that, we're kind of like the Transformers, man. We need to bolt ourselves and surround ourselves, wrap ourselves in technology to make sure that we have the most efficient way of doing business possible at our disposal. Here at Telarus, we've been building software literally since day one. When people ask about a little bit about the history of Telarus, what we always tell them is we built our master agency the exact opposite of every single other master agent out there. Most master agents came in with a sales background, they came in with some agents, they came in with some partners and some customers, and they kind of just grew their sales, and eventually they got to a point where they're like, I think we need technology. This is pretty interesting. Telarus was the opposite. Our first 5 hires were software developers. And then we started doing so much stuff online and so much automated stuff. We were so streamlined, we started getting partners to join, and we said, you know what, we might need a back office. I remember having that conversation with you in Chicago, saying, I think we might need a back office. Everyone else seems to have a back office. We don't know what we're doing. Let's get a back office. And so we've really done the technology side first, and it's really always been in our DNA because, again, it's something we're super passionate about. As we see other industries leverage technology very successfully in finance and retail and travel and all of these other verticals, technology really is core to what they do. And then we're here selling the most advanced technical products the world has ever seen, and we're still emailing and leaving voicemails. And so, again, that's kind of, drag your fingers down the chalkboard for us. And so every single year at Partner Summit, we have a tradition of rolling out new technology. In fact, when the IT development staff who's here with us today gets together in November, October, they say, all right, next June, what's the big reveal? What are we going to build? And so we get together, and we have always something ready for you guys every June. Again, and just another reason to plan on coming to Partner Summit, just a little gift for you. So in the past, we've launched several interesting items at Partner Summit. I don't know if any of you guys remember anything that we revealed in the past. Anybody remember anything? What's that? The Telarus app was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. We said, pull out your phones, go to the iPhone store, type in the word Telarus, boom, app on your phone. Anybody else remember a tech reveal from the past? What was last year? Hosted UC and GeoQuote. That's right. Go in there, type in an address, type how many seats you want, type in what CRM integrations you want, boom, and the pricing showed up. And it was actually that platform that we actually used to extract the UC matrix. So when something new goes into GeoQuote, the matrix gets the updates. When new features go into GeoQuote, the matrix gets another green checkbox next to the supplier name. So those are all great things. So we've had technology reveals. The app has been a game changer for our partners. You saw that chart with the fiber, right? That's due in large part because our partners just pull out their phones and look. And we think that as more partners see this, they're going to become more efficient. They're going to be sitting in those 1 or 2 empty seats they're sitting there because they're going to want to be a part of this technology, and they're going to see that this technology is really going to be a rocket booster, and speaking of rockets, to getting their business to the next level. Because the thing that you are in business for is credibility. Credibility with your customers, credibility that you're designing the right things, credibility that you're not guessing, credibility that the network is going to be able to sustain a UCaaS deployment through pre-assessments, credibility that you can run a UCaaS test call using vxsupportline.com, credibility that every aspect along the way, you're the trusted advisor and they can trust you. Why? Because you have the knowledge, tools, and team. So we're going to drill down right now on the tools and talk about what we've built for you this time.
So as we build tools with you in mind, one of the things we focus on from the beginning is your time. How can we save you more time? As Patrick talked about, be more efficient. If you can spend more time with your customers solving problems, you're going to win more often, and we're excited about that. In addition to that, Patrick talked about credibility. We're in the game of credibility. When you go to a customer, they have got to believe in you and trust in your skills and capability of bringing the right partners to the table. If you remember yesterday in the slides when we talked about the future and what the Technology Services Industry Association believes a future partner will look like, it's multi-vendor, it's an educator, it's a solutions architect, it's you, the things you're doing. And if we can help you do more of that and save time, we feel like we're doing a pretty good job. So in terms of time savings, what we found is that a lot of our partners are out focused on a deal and have to drop everything because a customer calls them and says, "Where's my stuff? I need to know." And it's an important question because you've got customers who are opening up new locations, they're closing down old ones, a service is about to go down, meaning they're going to get rid of it and turn up a new one. Those deadlines matter. And so when they reach out to you, you have to drop everything. No longer can you focus on your existing sale, the existing solution you're designing. You've got to drop things and focus on that. And believe me, we hear that. When we hear you call in, the stress that you're feeling is because here's a person that could possibly question your credibility. In fact, one of our partners said they spend up to 50% of their staff's time focused on order updates and where are they. We know from surveying our own staff that those questions come to us, and we spend 30% of our time updating on where is it. Because not everybody has time to drop what they have and log into a portal. Oh, and by the way, not everybody has a portal. And so we got to call in or email and say, where is this? Oh, it's not where it should be. How do we get it there? And unfortunately, what that does is two things. Number one, it pulls time away from future opportunities that you were engaged in. And number two, it taxes your credibility. And that's the stress that we hear in partners' voice when they reach out to us is, hey, help me look good. I'm worried right now, my customer's not being taken care of, and that's my bread and butter. That's what I need to do. So up until today, we've really been in the dark as to where these things are, and we've been wasting a lot of time. It's like we're on the dark side of the moon here, looking for answers of where this is, how do we help our customers faster, and what do we do? Well, that's what our tool is all about today, and we're excited to announce this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Moonrise. As soon as my slicker, there we go. Right? Moonrise. The reason why we call this technology Moonrise is because, like Adam said, in the past, as of 10 seconds ago, all the way to the past, whenever you put an order in, and it's really almost irrespective of supplier, your order kind of goes around the dark side of the moon, and you're kind of just praying that it comes out the other side and it's working. You know, kind of like the Apollo missions. Please communicate with me sometime with a turned-up circuit. And like Adam said, timing is everything because the timing speaks to your credibility. When customers have an order with you, there's really two things at play. Number one, they're replacing something that's existing, right? There is a timeline. If that order is not installed by a certain date, their previous order is going to renew, and they're going to be stuck in another 1 or 2 or 3 years of a contract, right? So the circuits have to be in by a certain date. That's why the customers are feeling pressure. Or second, the customer is turning up a new location, and they're going to start transacting business at that location on a certain date, and if the circuit again isn't turned up, there's no credit cards, there's no phone service, they're not going to be in business. So that's why they're feeling the pressure, and the pressure just rolls downhill. It rolls to you, and then you yell at us, and then we yell at them, and then they call back, and then all of us put in an enormous amount of time. We call it the 30% time tax. It's overhead that we all pay to be in this business because we don't have transparency into the status of our orders, something so simple. And it's kind of like the living next to an airport, right? If you're next to those planes every single day, eventually you stop hearing the planes until someone comes from out of town and says, man, the planes are really loud right here. And you're going, well, what planes, right? The 30% time tax that we've paid because we can't find out the status of our orders is something we've always dealt with as an industry since this industry started. So we're very excited today to show you a little bit and take you on a brief tour of the software and how that's going to change things for you so that you can see things both in your Telarus back office and on the Telarus app, which we're going to go over here in a minute. Again, something that's super sexy to me is having information in your pocket. I talk to partners and they say, where's fiber? I go, it's in your pocket, right? You're not happy to see me. Your fiber is in your pocket. Just pull out your app and look. And people are going, what the? And so when IT starts to build things and bring data to you, my first almost requirement/request is put it on the app, put it on the app. So what we've done is we've done both things. So we've had back office, because most people spend a lot of time on the website. We also have it in your app, kind of a condensed version of it, so that you can be on the go at a call. Customer calls you. What's the status of my order? Just a second. Looks like it's going to be ready tomorrow. How about that? Don't have to call us. Don't have to call the carrier. You have it all at your disposal. So this is our back office tool. This is where you're going to find it right here in the top section. It says New Order Status Tool. Okay, that is our Moonrise system, hard at work. So all you need to do is click on beta, and we'll get into a second why we actually use the word beta. There are future iterations already in the works to make it better and more robust with more data, and so we're very excited. So our IT staff has been heavy at work doing one of two things. Number one, going out and querying the suppliers' systems. Like Adam said, some of them have back offices, some of them don't. And in many cases, all the suppliers in the room, all you guys, you communicate order status differently, all of you. Some of you will email the partner, some will email the customer and forget to email the partner, some of you will email the partner, the customer, and us. Some of you don't email at all, just look it up in the portal, and some of them, it's just call on the phone and we'll just tell you. It's anywhere in between on that spectrum. And so what we did is we created, I like to call this my favorite part, we created a robot army, or an army of robots, either one you want to go, that goes into the supplier's portals every midnight and queries the status of every Telarus order in their system, pulls down that status and puts it into the database. Okay, that happens every night. The robots go out, they do their work, they don't make any noise, they don't leave any wrappers or anywhere, they do their work, they don't complain, they don't ask for more money, they just go do their thing. And when that data comes back, it comes into this portal. And so what you see is an example of an agent that has 9 orders in flight right now. So he's placed those orders. You can see here, it's got the name of the orders. All you need to do is use this filter right there so you can actually filter through the types of orders that you've got. You've got stuff that's in flight. Of course, we automatically default you to that because that's usually what you're interested in is what's going on right now. But we also allow you to go back to the ones that have been done and the ones that have been canceled. So those never fully leave your radar. You can always see those going forward. You use that filter, see the orders that you want, and click on the little more information box. So what you see when you come in here, you see the customer's information. On the left, on the right, you see the actual order. So this is an ACC business example. We do a lot of business with ACC business. That's a lot of word business for a sentence. You can go in there, you can see a little bit of the information that you see there, but really the thing that's most important is this workflow that we're going to show you right now. The workflow is like the coolest feature I think our IT department has ever built. And here's the reason why. All of us speak telecom, all of us speak cable, all of us speak UC, but to understand the actual provisioning cycles and processes for every single provider, which all do things different, who all communicate differently, is dang near impossible. And so when we got into this project, we thought order status is builder ready biller scrub. Don't know about you, but I don't know what ready biller scrub means or where that fits into the process or if that's a good thing or a bad thing or if I should be worried about it or not worried about it. So we've gone in and IT and the ops team have mapped out the actual process. And as you can see here, many times with an order, there are parallel tracks that have to happen. There's an engineering track, there's a physical facilities track, there's a finance track that has to happen, and at the end, all of them have to get down to that one complete box at the bottom right-hand corner, somehow, some way. The other fun thing is, as we go through and grab all of these statuses from the carriers, and we map those to that actual flow chart, I'm an engineer, I'm a sucker for flow charts. I'm like, flow charts, hang on one more time. Flow charts.
So hot.
Flow charts. Okay, hashtag flowcharts is the code for the gamification. I don't even know if it is, but we're gonna have to make it so. So we show you the status log. So anytime a customer calls you, you can say what's happened, what date it happened, and here's the best part. As we start to gather, and we've been gathering this information for just a couple of weeks, but as the months continue on and the years continue on, we're gonna have lots of data for all of the carriers so that we can empirically tell you step 1 to step 2 for this carrier, for this product, on average has taken 3.5 days in the past. So with all of that data, we can tell you what your ETA is to the next step on the flow chart. And we can tell you, based on our data, how many days it's going to take to get everybody to complete, based on historical information. So we can ask the carriers, what is your typical SLA between these dates? And they can give us a number. But at the end, it's just a number based on their guesstimate. Okay, we're going to now start using data analytics to assemble this information, to aggregate this information, and then give you literally kind of like when you're on the airplane and you hit the in-flight and it's like current speed, 1,285 kilometers per hour, and you're like, I don't understand that, miles per hour, please. But the most important thing is it gives you the ETA. It says you're going to land at 4:21 p.m. in your destination, and you're like, okay, well, I got room for one more movie and maybe another blog, and figure out maybe another round of peanuts. But you have expectations, like Don Yost said yesterday. Notice the pronunciation. Thank you.
Very nice.
You're welcome. He said that when there are things forced upon you, it's always really hard. And it's just like being in the airport and you making the change to your trip instead of them forcing the change. The same thing goes for information, right, Shane? When there's bad news, you hate to be blindsided by it. But if there's bad news that you know about, right, you see these things happening in your app or on your website, you can actually reach out to your customer and say, okay, I got some news for you today. It's okay. This has happened before, but we're a couple days late on this one step. That's going to delay the complete date by a couple of days. And you're out ahead of the problem now. You're not being reactive and trying to put out fires now, because we all love firefighting, right? That's why we're in this business. You can get out ahead of it and then work the problem, because now that one glitch will follow through, and now the calculator will recompute, and it'll give you a pretty tight date on what your new ETA is. Because again, setting expectations is everything in this business. It's everything to your credibility. Again, bad news we can handle so long as we know about it in advance, right? Blindside, this is what the Moonrise whole concept is set to do, is to eliminate flying blind, eliminate blind sides, eliminate flying dark. Adam, take us home.
All right. So like anything that we release, we're excited about it. But we do call it beta right now because it's in beta form. But we want you to play with it. That's where we get the best input and feedback. As we talked about yesterday, I talked about future plans and said it should be really retitled Future Ideas. We have a lot of ideas of where this should go and what changes we should make to it and modifications. But we want to hear from you first, because when you're out using it in front of your customer, you're going to tell us things that we didn't anticipate. You're going to give us ideas that we haven't thought through. And as you give us that feedback, we're going to build a better product for you. So starting today, you're going to be able to get into your app and look around. Have some fun, look at the status, see what makes sense. Attend the technical deep dive this afternoon at about 1 o'clock, I believe it is. There's a technical deep dive with our IT team to talk through questions you may have about details. It's fine to offer suggestions right now about where this goes, because that's what we're doing. It's an iterative process. It's beta right now. We want you to have fun with it. We have some ideas about what we see in there with regard to multi-sites, with the machine learning, where we're developing data to predict when it's going to come out, not just by printed or published SLAs, but by history and what we typically see, and bring that together to you. We're very excited about this, and we do want to recognize the IT team. We've got a few members from our IT team here. If they'll stand in the back and hold your applause until I believe there are 3 of them here. First, Michael Brown, our Vice President of Technology. Also, Daniel Vest, who's been with us for many years. Anything you touch in the back office has probably had Daniel's hands on it. And Shantae also, who does not only deep development, but also BI for us. We want to thank them very much for developing this app and having it ready today. We've also got some members back home who are focused on the launch right now. Some of them were here yesterday to be able to see you and shake your hands. It's nice when you work for people and you develop something for them.
They're watching on Facebook right now.
Hey!
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. But that's payment for them, to see your smiling faces and to know what they do makes a difference. They work hard, they work long hours, and to know that what they're doing is saving you time matters to them. So if you get a chance today, whether it's at the deep dive or it's just in the hallway, say thank you to them. Let them know what you think about the tools that you're using and what difference it makes in your business. It means a lot to us as a company, but also much to our developers who work on this stuff every day for you. Now, another item I want to talk about. This is a beta we mentioned, and we've got 3 providers in there right now. We've got ACC, AirSpring, and Comcast in there ready for the launch. So you're going to see live data. If you've got orders in flight, you're going to see that status now. You're going to see those dynamic flow charts come up. Now, the reason flow charts. So hot.
So hot. Super hot.
It's true. We actually previewed this for a Comcast team last week. It was the only time they're going to have all their PSMs together. And so the support people, of course, very excited. This is not just exciting for partners, but for suppliers as well, who spend time as well. They've got to drop things and go get status and help. And they were excited as well because they know it's going to save their time. But when we got to the engineer table, it was flowcharts, baby. It's all about the flowcharts.
Actually, when we were at one of the support tables, someone saw this. They got teary-eyed. They're like, you guys don't know how much of my time you're going to save. I love you.
So remember, 3 providers right now, and so a lot of our wonderful supplier partners are asking us, why was it those 3? And we communicated with each supplier team. We've still got conversations going on. Some are in motion, getting us data. Some of your ops teams right now are working on getting us data. Some are a little slower, and we need your help to push. But we are prioritizing these by 2 things. Number 1 is order volume, but also by the readiness and availability. If you've got an API we can plug into, we're going to do that very quickly. If it's simply scraping your website, we will do that as well. We'll pull that in and get the data. We'll get it whichever way we can, but we're probably going to need some help pushing from your side. And if you can enable us to do that, our goal is to have 80% of all orders be, in the tool by the end of the year. We want to make sure we've got the bulk of your orders in there. We'd like to get to 100%, but we know we can get to 80% by the end of the year. So please help us on your side. Help push. Don't go. I know you're texting your teams right now saying, why weren't we in there? Don't throw them under the bus. They've been working on it. We've been communicating with them. Seth has reached out. Likely it's already in flight. And if it is, help push. If not, let's make sure that conversation is going and we get your information there quickly. It's good for you. It's good for our partners, and everyone wins.
All right, we're going to finish off by actually showing you the app, or the actual Room system in the app. So we can go ahead and project the app screen up there. That is now your current view of your Telarus app. All you need to do is literally refresh the home screen by clicking on the Telarus logo, and you should see 9 logos now instead of 8. Of course, you see right there the order status link is now up and ready. So all you need to do is click on that. Again, you see kind of a consolidated view of the orders that are in flight. Again, the same filter applies from the website as it does here on the mobile app. You can, again, select in-flight orders, canceled orders, or completed orders anytime you'd like. All you do is, again, click on an order, and then you can see here the status log is really the default view, so you can actually see the paper trail, the breadcrumbs of where that order has been, who it's touched. And again, if you don't know where that order corresponds to the flow chart, you click on workflow, and you get the flow chart on your phone. So you can then, if you're like me, you're going to have to zoom in a little bit, put your glasses on, and read where those are. Again, those flow charts are in different sizes, dimensions, aspect ratios, and so we've made it so it's you can zoom it, move it around, do whatever you need to do to see. So again, all the information that we showed you is super exciting. Robot army, flow charts, something that we can all probably agree is pretty dang cool. So we're excited. Again, the reason why we go through the trouble and the expense of building these things, again, is to make you more powerful. And again, to really enhance the tools part of the knowledge tools team equation that makes good agents great. So we're very appreciative of your attendance here today. We hope that you'll love the app. You'll hope that you'll use it. We hope that you'll try to break it. We love that. Let us know. Again, the greatest testament to this software is that you guys have helped build this over the course of the last 15 years. You know, people often lump accolades and praise on Adam and I and the IT team for being so innovative. But when you have hundreds of people using something and thinking about something every day, great ideas come out. And we're very excited to hear those ideas. And just to give you a quick story, back in the 2004 days, when we had our first back office launch, agents would put in requests, and I would open up the live code on the production server, make changes, and say, reload. And everyone's like, yeah, you changed the font color or whatever. I mean, we would make changes literally in real time for partners. It's not that way now. We do have Scrum and design cycles, but we're very excited, again, going all the way back from that legacy to get to this place. Our software developers are just outstanding. In fact, if any of you ever want to come to the office and come see our software developer team in action, you're welcome to do that. In fact, every time I take people, they're like, oh no, not another zoo tour. Like, these are the developers. This is the BI person. Here's the database guy. I mean, but it is pretty exciting. I mean, they have a really cool work environment, and they produce awesome, awesome tools. And I know I'm going to hear about that later, so I apologize for that last comment. You guys, thank you so much. If there's any questions, we're going to be around. Again, like Adam said, was it 1 o'clock? Michael Brown and the IT staff will actually be there for a deep dive. So you can pull out your phones, you can play with it, he can sit there, tell you what to push, and hear your feedback live. So thank you so much. Now, I think it's time to give away $10,000. What do you think, Adam?
I think you're right. Everyone have fun with the app. Save time, be a hero for your customers. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Bryce Hayes. This is the comedy portion of the session.
Not on stage, right on stage.
Okay. Okay, number one. Sienna, you're going to want to take this. Zachary, you're going to want to take this. And here's the goal. Making a few things up as we go. Here's your prizes today. You both get to keep whatever compressed air is left in those canisters. and we'll make sure we find some socks. So thanks, guys. Uh-oh, I'm getting blown now. Thanks, guys. Go ahead and keep it. Thanks, Zachary. All right. Our portion this morning, we are really, really excited to share with you some great ideas from existing partners. Looks like we need just another minute or two to get everything set up. When we launched this idea, Doug had come to the executive team and had suggested, hey, what if we were to do a Shark Tank? And we got to think about it. And the more we thought about it, the more excited we got. So we are thrilled to share with you today, as partners, some of your ideas, some of the things that you have shared with us that you would like to see as investments in your business. So please welcome to the stage Doug Tolley, Senior Vice President of Business Development, who is going to be your host for this activity. Doug?
Okay.
Looks like we've got a microphone coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Doug Tolley.
That's called sneak. How about this? Okay. All right. I said we're slightly ahead of schedule, which is bad for some of you who just got up, is what I said. And I think some of you did just get up. That last shuttle left at 11, and then it's a long walk back up the hill. I've watched some of you make that walk of shame the last few years. Bryce and I were sitting in the lobby. Someone said, "Why are you sitting in the lobby?" Have you ever sat in the lobby and watched all of you kind of wander in? Second funniest thing I've ever seen. First funniest, watching people who aren't used to riding a horse get off a horse at the bottom of the Grand Canyon after 5 hours. Oh my gosh. My daughter and I sat there and laughed at all the old people, and I realize now they were all in their late 40s, early 50s, and I just turned 50. Okay, enough time filler. Here's what we're going to do. I can't take credit for this idea. I went to a CompTIA event a couple years ago. Maybe some of you were there in Chicago. It was an unbelievable event. They held a Shark Tank that day. They moderated it. They brought up a few of their partners. They presented some business ideas. Those partners did their best to defend their idea, and then ultimately they gave away some money on the spot. It was really fun. Here's the part that's important. And again, for those of you that just got up, I want you to focus for just a second here. You're voting on this. Did you know that? Did you know that you're making the decision? So I'll give you some specific instructions on exactly how to do that before we're done. But if you've been playing any of our games so far, you're going to vote through the app. And if I tell you how to do it, you're going to be like totally distracted. So I'm not going to exactly tell you how to do it. But you're going to end up going to the full agenda and going to this session. And then sometime during the session, we're going to activate a link that will bring up the 3 contestants, okay? So you're going to be doing the voting. We'll tell you when to do that, but you're determining who gets the money, okay? And I'll give you just a little bit more instruction on that when we get to that point. We're so excited. We had about 9 entries. I got calls from people last second. I don't know where Ruth is, but she called me like the day after that entries had closed and said, "I've got another one." Then Jay called me and said, "I got another one." And so the enthusiasm was there. Maybe the timing not so good. Well, maybe we'll do it again in the future, but please, we appreciate your entries. There were 9-ish of you that submitted an entry. We narrowed that down to the 3 we're going to use today. And I think that's all the housekeeping items we need to talk about. So you need to pay attention. The Sharks will ask good questions. Grill these guys a little bit, but ultimately we'd like you to vote for the one that you think makes the most sense, made the best presentation, you think has the best legs as far as the technology that they're proposing goes. Maybe it's the one that you just like their presentation the best. This should be a lot of fun. So without any further ado, let's introduce our Sharks today for the panel. I don't know in what order they are backstage. Again, It's a whole other world. It goes on. It goes way back under the mountain. It's really bizarre back there. But let's bring out the sharks, and we'll introduce them one at a time, I guess. So, guys, if you're back there, would you be willing to join me on stage? That would be awesome. Or you could come through the front door. I don't know what's going on back there. Get on up here. This is Joe Conti from VCOM. He's the co-founder and currently the senior vice president of sales. Oh, hey, it's Carrie Tangler. Have you guys met my friend Carrie? Carrie Tangler from Comcast. Your title is the executive director of national channel programs. Did I get that?
You got it.
Generally correct?
Generally correct.
And Carrie's been a friend of Telarus for a long time. Been at Comcast about 5 years, 8 months, according to LinkedIn.
Okay.
And a Michigan man, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Thanks, Carrie, for being here. Carrie, meet Joe if you haven't met. And Adam and Patrick, they were just here. Oh, there they are. Patrick Oborn, co-founder of Telarus, as you know, and actually used to work for Northrop Grumman, like kind of a real rocket scientist. How about that? And you guys all know Adam Edwards. Adam is our CEO and president. Adam told me backstage he has so many great questions prepared. He's going to make the contestants cry a little bit. Adam, so, you are like fired up. Yeah, you're taking the Roger position, if you will. All right. So thank you very much. Have a seat, guys, and we'll get started here. I believe we're going to do this with handheld mics, and I won't need one, so I'll give you mine. We'll have 3 of them to pass around. Here's the format, in case you haven't been briefed. They're going to get 7 minutes to present. That clock is right down there, and our good friend Howard's got a horn that's going to go off when they hit their 7 minutes. If they're not done talking, they're done talking. It doesn't matter. Then there'll be 8 minutes of question and answer time. You guys can ask any questions you want of the contestant, and that will also be on the clock. At the end of that, we'll thank that particular contestant. They'll move off stage. We'll do the next one. There'll be 3 of those. That's, if you do the math, 45 minutes, and then we'll go to that point. Everybody good? Any questions from the Sharks?
Yeah, does the trap door open at 7 minutes?
At 7 minutes, they don't drop out because we want you to ask them questions. That would be kind of, if they disappear, well, I guess if it really sucks, we'll just, but it won't, because I've seen these presentations. These guys have worked really hard on them, and we're excited. So, our first contestant this morning is from On Track Communications. His name's Bill Mansfield. He's the president of On Track Communications. And I found a fun fact with Bill just the other night having lunch with him, that he used to own an ice cream shop. Now, I don't think that has anything to do with what he's going to present today, but isn't it lovely to just think of Bill and his beautiful wife scooping ice cream for kids? I don't know. To me, it's heartwarming. It's beautiful. My friend and a guy I've eaten a gyro with at midnight, one of us was drunk, I won't say which, Bill Mansfield.
Workflow charts. It's all about workflow charts.
So hot.
Very, very hot. Good morning, Sharks and others in the audience. My name is Bill Mansfield, president of On Track Communications. We are a longtime partner of Telarus. We are based in Stoughton, Wisconsin. Today, I'm here seeking a $10,000 investment to assist in the development and deployment of a dynamic video-centric marketing tool. We feel this will be a real game changer. As a mid-sized master agent, we feel strongly that we need to be different than others in this space. Part of our success is based on the input we receive from our sales team. Those are our agents. Here's an example. We did an all-agent survey in mid-2016. We asked our agents, what are the biggest challenges that you face? The overwhelming response was lead generation assistance. Lead generation assistance. Tied for second was customer retention. Given this information, we started looking at ways that we could help. We believe that this new video marketing tool can assist in both creating new leads and retaining existing customers. Everybody's heard of the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So what's a video worth? There we go, cool. Let me throw out some quick stats. Viewers recall about 95% of what they see versus only about 10% of what one reads. 75 million people watch videos online monthly. Videos generate a more than 10-time increase in engagement from social media posts. 40 billion videos are streamed monthly. Has anybody ever heard of YouTube? The explosion of YouTube? Everybody understands video works. How do we start? We've identified a video marketing supplier with proven success in the telecommunications space. Together, we've started the development of a short prospecting video on SD-WAN. We chose SD-WAN based on its huge upside potential. We then share this with our agent-branded lead generation video with our agents for them to send out via email to multi-location prospects. These could be cold leads, they could be warm leads, they could be both. Here's an example of what that email might look like. I changed it slightly here. I don't know if Mike Emanuello is in the room. So this says, Mr. Emanuello, please check out this short video about a performance-improving, money-saving network technology called SD-WAN. It will explain everything you need to know in less than 2 minutes. I'm here to answer any questions you may have and explore options for your firm. There's no obligation. Just reply to this email or give me a call. Thank you. Embedded in this email is this short video. Let's take a look.
You probably hear people talking about SD-WAN, and if you're like me, you've wondered, what is that, and does it matter to me? Well, if you own a business or manage IT, it sure does. You depend on a reliable network for everything from email to web chat to cloud and mission-critical apps. If your network goes down, your whole business goes with it. Most companies today still run on old-school MPLS networks that were considered advanced about 20 years ago. Imagine a 20-year-old cell phone and you understand how outdated that is. MPLS networks depend on a single connection. You're stuck with one carrier and they control your vital settings and bandwidth priorities. Say your voice apps aren't getting enough bandwidth. Customers call and sound is cutting in and out. Tough luck. Or your real-time order system bogs down and customers are abandoning their shopping carts. Too bad. Not with SD-WAN. Your network looks ahead to anticipate and eliminate bottlenecks. A software-defined wide area network is more reliable, plus it gives you control over data bandwidth priorities. 2 or more networks run actively all the time. If one falters, you're still up and running. Available circuit monitoring notifies you of any changes with full diagnostics. Smart business owners and IT managers are discovering that SD-WAN is an essential upgrade that saves money in the long run. That's why it's projected to grow over 90% annually over the next 5 years. That's more than a trend. It's a revolution in network quality and stability. Contact us to evaluate your network and get a quote, absolutely free.
So what do you guys think? You think that could work for you?
That's good.
Again, we chose SD-WAN based on its upside, but it could have been UCaaS, could be collaboration services, it could have been cloud computing, it could have been any number of different things. All these different videos will be hosted in a video library with unlimited agent access and usage. As stated, each video will be white labeled for each agent, your company name, your company logo. Our agents choose the best video for them. They choose the prospects, they send out the email, and they then get notified when the email is read. But it's cooler than that. They then get notified when the video is viewed. So now you've got some real power there. To me, that prospect just went from cold to at least warm. Now we've got someone and something to talk about. Remember, better leads equals more appointments. More appointments equals more sales. More sales equals more revenue. In addition, you can add these videos in a social media environment, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., but you would not receive that same analytical viewership information. I think I'm one slide off, boys and girls. So what's next? We plan to use the $10,000 to further develop this dynamic, game-changing lead generation and retention tool by working with all parties involved. We plan to track our successes and our failures and make changes as needed. As we've always done, we'll work to tirelessly support our agents and help them drive revenue to their companies and to OnTrack and to Telarus. And oh yeah, we believe so strong in this, OnTrack's willing to put $10,000 up as well. We have an opportunity here. It's a real game changer. Let's get to work. Questions, right?
Well, I just admire the timing. I mean, that was just spot on.
I spoke a little fast at the end.
That's okay. Everybody could follow.
It's all about workflow.
Yeah. So
So hot.
so hot. So Bill, I'll lead off. Have you looked into kind of the competitive nature of this from I guess two aspects? Number one, is anybody else doing anything similar to this? Whether it's just kind of generic YouTube videos, and then I guess the other one isn't so much competitive, but more of an agent enablement. How are you going to go about helping folks put together the email list and kind of conduct that aspect of the, kind of the email push?
Yeah, those are good questions, Kerry. There's a number of people that put videos out, training videos, workflow videos, a number of things that are more operational. I haven't seen anybody doing something to help the agents with prospecting, which the same question I had is, okay, so we develop these video library, we make it available to the agents, who are they going to send them to? If you're like me, you get emails every day from people trying to sell you leads. Every single day. Got one this morning, B2B something. Hey, Mr. Mansfield, did you get my email last week? I really want to talk to you about qualified leads in these industries. So if we can help them, in addition to the video, help them with those leads and who to email to, we're happy to entertain that. We just hope the agents take advantage of this. Much like Telarus, we're building this for our agents to help them generate more revenue and more customers.
So, Bill, I'm bought into the idea that partners want demand gen. We've seen that historically. We recognize that, and so I accept that your partners want something like this. I think they will engage. My question is, do you have any test data? Have you pushed this video out on email and have any sort of data to support its effectiveness?
We have not to this point. Part of it is the actual overall cost of the project is a little bit tight right now. These weren't monies that we had budgeted for 2017, so it's part of the process, but we're hopeful that with the $10,000, that along with our $10,000, we can develop this and move this forward. The company itself that does this, Voodoo Viral Marketing, has had success with others in this space, but mostly on the equipment side, Mitel, ShoreTel, with people that are system integrations or interconnects, having them send these out with their hardwares, but not so much prospecting for the services that we identify, some of the ones that we think are hottest, SD-WAN, UCAS, et cetera.
So have they shared data with you of open rates, of click-through rates, video watch rates?
They shared with us click-through rates are typically double what they would be when there's no video embedded. So that's, I think, normal, not just our space, but just the idea of that's kind of an average of if somebody has a video embedded in an email, you're 2 times likely to look at it versus just trash in an email. But we've not done any testing to this point.
Bill?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. This is Joe. Bill, great presentation.
Thank you.
Love the fact that you're leveraging technology to grow your business. I think that's fantastic. Regarding the $20,000 investment that you plan to make, how many videos will that produce?
There's some that are already in works because we're probably not going to be the only ones. There's a window that this company is allowing us to be the only ones that are going to have this for a little while, but they're not so stupid, I guess is the term to say, that you're going to be exclusive to this forever. They gave us a price initially of $21,000 to do one video. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Heart attack.
Yeah. So,
EMTs. Doctor in the house?
One, that's why we're here seeking the 10. We got them to do the video that they produced there,
Promo. Yeah.
so far for nothing, with the idea that they believe this is something that's going to happen, and it's either going to happen with our help or maybe somebody else's help. I believe it can happen with our help.
Sure.
I really do. Video is just so powerful. I mean, it's cool.
It is. It's very cool. The other thing, and I know it might be difficult with your agent base, would be to make them just more specific to a certain vertical, as opposed to being generic SD-WAN. Just to go deeper and wider within one specific vertical and make it just very applicable to that exact prospect.
Yeah, and what we've got some flexibility in that regard. For us, we see some agents are going to adapt this and they'll say, oh yeah, we can look at SD-WAN right away because they've got the experience, they've got the ability to talk about it on a peer level. Some of our agents, quite frankly, and none of the people in this room certainly, because everybody here is super intelligent and knows everything there is to know about SD-WAN, but some of our agents back home, they're not going to probably want to do SD-WAN out of the gate. They might want to do something like coax to fiber migration. So it's something that they can then take a list from a cable company and say, here's our existing coax base. We want to go out and hit them with a video talking about what the great things that can happen if you upgrade from coax to fiber. And that's an easier sell for them, I think, because they're used to selling coax, and they might have sold some fiber, but they haven't sold multi-location MPLS or SD-WAN. So I think there's going to be a learning curve for a number of our agents. Not everybody's going to be this. Some are going to be this. And we've got the flexibility to do that.
Yeah, and just lastly, I mean, we've done a couple videos for our own company, and we're in the Bay Area, so that might be a different story, but we got it done for 11 to 13,000, something like that as well.
Yeah, I think the 21,000, I thought I choked too, like Dan did when he first came up with that number. I think part of that, and I'm not so engineering type like others in the room that would understand how cool it is to get the analytics, but I thought that was what was really cool, was the idea of we could know who viewed the video.
Sure.
To me, that absolutely allows you to hone in on that guy or gal. Instead of just saying, I'm just shooting with a shotgun, I'm now shooting with a laser. To me, that was very powerful.
Bill, I just want to congratulate you. That was exceptionally well done. You know, I've been in marketing a long time, as have many folks here, and know what goes into putting something like that together, where you can kind of dumb it down, but not so dumb that people feel dumb, but enough that they can go, oh, I understand that technology. I am really interested. And SD-WAN is really an educational sell. It's not just you need SD-WAN because people like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. And so you've got to teach them about the product, teach them about the benefits of the product, and you've done a marvelous job at doing that. As you go, just some advice, and I don't really have any questions for you. I think costs and everything else have already been addressed. You can do some really cool A/B testing, because you'll notice that maybe if you go slightly longer verbiage or slightly less, you'll get a better click-through rate. And different job positions that you may email may give you better click rates too. So there's going to be some dials that you can use still to even make the video really have more impact than it is. That's the great thing about email marketing too, is A, B, C testing. There's always ways that you can use data to figure out what the best way is, so that you can push that best way out to all your partners over time. So
yeah,
congrats.
and we don't have all the answers at this point. We really, really don't. I mean, the idea, does this go to the CFO? Does it go to the CIO? Does it go to an IT guy? Or does it go over to the president of the company? I don't know that yet, but we're happy to explore that. And through keeping our records, keeping those numbers of where's our biggest successes, then we're going to come back and kind of focus in on those people and then do that over and over again.
So I guess my only question is, who's going to run?
You're about out of time. Workflow.
Who's going to run this? Who's going to do this? We'll have to find out later.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Well done. Bill Mansfield, man, that was fantastic. Right out of the gate, that was good stuff. Okay, can you hear me now with this one? Okay, great. So I'll leave this one right here. Our next contestant is Rob Nussbaum. He is the co-founder of the Jack Bomb Group. He hails from Austin, Texas, one of the greatest cities you can ever visit. Honestly, Austin's fantastic. Rob is all kinds of energy, all kinds of fun. I can't wait to see what he presents. He's here with his little family, and we're excited to have them here. Jack Bomb Group and Rob Nussbaum. Thank you. And bringing a baby is a great way to get a little simple.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm Rob Nussbaum. This is my wife, Jennifer, and our son, Ezekiel, our team mascot. Jennifer's maiden name is Jackson, so together we are the co-founders of the Jack Bomb Group. Sharks, we're here this morning asking for a $10,000 investment. We've got a little video. You asked us some questions, and we want to show the video to show you our answers. All right, guys. Well, that's a little bit about the presentation. So I know the Sharks couldn't see the entire video, so I'm going to run through the slides pretty quick. Our business mission, we're about saving time, money, and headaches for our customers, source and voice network, cloud, and mobile. These are our products and services. Pretty standard reseller model. Our target verticals are healthcare, banks, credit unions, law firms, contact centers. What would we do if we got the $10,000 investment? This is what's fun. Jennifer, if you would. So one of the things we're doing is working with some smart SIM technology. Now, Patrick, what you have in your hand is a MiFi unit. That's kind of meh. I don't know. We've all seen those. We all have one in our pocket. But what's great about this device is you can walk off the plane in 100 countries, turn it on, and it'll pick the signal strength of the cell phone tower that's closest to you and has the best bandwidth and best throughput. Anybody know anybody that travels internationally that might be interested in something like that? It's got some software-defined network technology that's onboard embedded in the SIM chip that actually allows it to find that best signal strength. Moving through here, time goes quick in just a few minutes. So here's the other device, guys. This is what we're calling a jetpack. And you all know down in Texas, we got quite a bit of oil and gas, and there's a lot of places that people want the internet to live where it can't be found. Typical failover solutions today, the way that they work, you've seen it where all the wires get cut, you lose your fiber, you lose your broadband, you go LTE over the air. This is how it's usually done today. You got a cradle point, you got some type of device that takes you over to LTE. Problems with it is you've got one LTE provider only, and you don't really have a lot of dynamic route capabilities. What we're going to be able to do with the device that's a jetpack like this is we're going to give you multiple LTE providers. So you've got 3 different carriers. You've got carrier A, B, and C. This device will actually pull bandwidth from more than one LTE provider, aggregate that bandwidth, shove it together and give you more speed when you lose your fiber and lose your broadband. So the real magic in this box is it employs SD-WAN technology that we're all super excited about, but it also pulls speed from multiple providers and shoves it all together. So our company, what's our hook? We've got some partnerships with this NVNO and this Smart SIM technology. And myself and our team, we've got over 12, 15 years of experience. So that's a little bit about the Jack Bomb Group, and excited to hear what questions you as Sharks might have.
So talk about focus. Well, first of all, great presentation. I love the video and love the music. So good start. Talk a little bit about the focus. As Joe mentioned in the first presentation, what verticals are you really going after, and what is the customer segment and use case? Because one of my concerns kind of reading this proposal was that you're still a very small company, and you've got a pretty expansive wish list there, from networking, from verticals, from different types of technologies. What do you do Monday morning when you go back with $10,000 in your pocket? What's your exclusive focus?
Yeah, so the real sizzle on the steak, guys, is in this Smart SIM technology. This device, you walk off the plane in 100 countries, you turn it on, and now I'm not limited. If I have a Verizon jetpack in my pocket and I'm not close to a Verizon tower, I have no bars, and I'm quintessentially hosed for connectivity. Anybody been here in Utah that wasn't close to a tower, right? Luckily, we're in a pretty good covered area. But again, this device can be truck mounted. So use cases are, think of the plumbing companies that have fleets of trucks. The guy that comes to do our AC at our house, he's got a little iPad with a LTE from Verizon on board, and I asked him, hey man, how many visits do you do in a week? And his company, they have about 95 trucks, and they do about 25 visits a week per technician. And he told me about 3 times a week when he's out and about in the greater Austin area, he either has to jump on the customer's Wi-Fi at their house, or he has to go drive back up the hill until he can get an LTE signal before he can finish doing his work. So the use case and the focus for the $10,000 is that we would buy more of these jetpack devices, and we would allow our customers to, do more demos to help us get to that scale point. We've got a really big company behind us helping us push this MVNO technology. You're right, man. One of our slides, we are a startup. We signed with Telarus March the 6th, so we're brand new and excited. But what we would do with 10,000 is to get more of these devices out to the customers and do more demos and then let it scale.
Hey, Rob, this is Joe. I guess a couple questions I have are, what are your current 2017 sales goals?
Yeah, for 2017, I mean, we started January 5th, and we are really looking to get to about $100,000 in sales through Telarus by the end of this year. I've got 6 really great deals in the funnel that I think will get us there and past. Beyond that, with the inset of this and working with the Sharks, if we get some investment and we get some additions, I don't know, are there any partners out here in the crowd that would like to be able to say that they've got an LTE solution that doesn't suck when the fiber and the coax gets cut, and that they'd like to be able to aggregate the bandwidth from not just Verizon, but you can add Verizon speed plus Sprint speed plus T-Mobile? Would anybody think one of their customers might have a use case for that? So I think the reality is what we do is work with teams like Telarus to find out what other partners might be interested in this technology and see where it goes.
Okay.
Does that help,
yeah,
Joe?
It does.
Does that answer your question?
It does. If I'm Adam and Patrick, I want to understand, if this 10K is going to help me get to that original 100K goal, or is it going to get me to 150,000. And then the other thing I would just caution you on, I'm a little leery about having to lay out capital for product prior to having those sales. So I would lean on your partner or your supplier to say, hey, listen, I'll buy as we go, as opposed to making an investment prior to having that actual sale.
Yeah, so I didn't go a lot over the pricing here because, but this is a tried and true product. We're selling this out there right now. There's about 300 customers that are already using it. I'll use the 10,000 just to buy more demo units so that I can take it out and show it, give it to a few of my other VARs. let them be out there demoing it. When a customer buys this device, they actually pay for it.
Yeah, I
and
wasn't
so
clear on
that
that.
I don't have to pay for it all up front, which is a really good question, Joe. And as we looked at the model, looked at the scale, absolutely thought about that. I'm just trying to get some more of these demo boxes to get the word out. Give them to a couple of the other Telarus partners, let them run them around the country, and see what happens. At the point where a customer says go, we obviously have an MRC, NRC attainable with this. So we've got a 600 site customer that's using it, and what's beautiful is we give them a 1 gig per location. So they have a 600 gig aggregate. And the typical play today is a customer comes out and a carrier says, all right, well, we'll do an LTE backup, and we do a site survey, and that means we'll figure out who's the strongest signal strength. Is it Sprint at my store? Is it Verizon? Is it AT&T? And we'll put that solution in. Again, the beauty of this technology is that this will actually allow you to aggregate and pull speed from multiple carrier towers and put it all together. So the difference is in the performance of the device, and it has SDN technology on board. And that's where it's really different. And so, again, this investment would just be to get the demo units. Sure. So we've got an unlimited bandwidth, and then we've got this ability to pool. How many people know people who have a pocket full of MiFis and a handful of SIM cards? Anybody in Texas who knows and works in the oil fields, that's how these guys go out there and do business every day. What's beautiful is you get one bill, and you would have SIM cards from Sprint, from T-Mobile, from AT&T, from Verizon. We aggregate all that together. You get one invoice, and we give you either a bucket or a pool of usable gigs. Let's say you got 600 sites, and 3 of them go down for 4 days, and they go LTE for those entire 4 days. Now you've got a 600 gig LTE bucket available to use at any of your 600 sites. Let's say all of them but those 4 are running on fiber or running on broadband just fine. And we can right-size the bucket, but from a convenience factor from billing, it's one invoice, multiple providers, and that's where the real sizzle on the steak is for this solution.
Well, good luck to you. I love the passion, the energy, and you have no better motivation than that beautiful baby over there.
Thank you, Joe.
Congrats.
This is awesome. Just a quick question. I just got back from a rocket launch where they're going to put 100 megs down across the country. Are there any plans to integrate satellite connectivity into the 4G solution, or is it just going to be 4G forever, or do you have any forethoughts on that?
We do. There's this great company in Austin called Gigcasters, and they go out with production crews, and all they do is shoot videos. So think of going to your favorite venue. Let's talk Woodstock, for example. Not exactly downtown Chicago where there's lots of fiber availability. Those guys go with a box like this. They plug into the SD-WAN to the Ethernet port. They drop it in. It's got a GPS-enabled device on it, and there's a link where you can put it to an actual military-grade satellite that shoots up to Viasat-1. Those guys called me the minute that Viasat-2 launched and said, we need 10 more of your boxes so that we can start producing at all these different shows that are in the middle of nowhere venues that have no terrestrial. So absolutely, emphatically, yes. And we're super excited about what Viasat-2 is going to do from a coverage and a mobility perspective. So now you can take the bandwidth not only that you can get from outer space, but that you can get from every one of the cell phone towers that you're within physical distance limitations from. So yeah, it's exciting, man. Getting you usable fast bandwidth. So the best speeds we've done on this are about 300 down and maybe 120 up. And that was aggregating all the providers together. I've got a box that it can actually hold 5 of the largest SIM cards here in the US. And again, we're pulling all that bandwidth together, shoving it together, aggregating it. Now you got big boy bandwidth. And by the time 5G goes, we're loving life.
Okay, thank you, Rob, very much. That was fantastic. Okay, 2 for 2, 2 great presentations. I know the next one will be fantastic as well. I'm going to invite up to the stage Bob Doherty. Carrie, quick question for you. Where did you get your MBA?
Northeastern.
So did he. Same
Nice.
school. I did a little LinkedIn trolling, found a link there. Maybe that'll make the two of you, super friends. I don't know. Anyway, one of you didn't list years. I think it might have been you. So I don't know exactly if there was any overlap.
Who cares, right?
Yeah, who cares, right? Who cares? Anyway, same school. Funny thing about Bob, I just found out, the family is in the fish business, but you're allergic, so you went into IT? And his nickname back at the office is Bob BQ, which I think means that he might be a really good grill master. I'm not sure. None of that has anything to do with what he's about to talk to you about. Bob Doherty, Norwell Technology Group. Here we go.
Thanks, guys. So I'm here to talk to you about Norwell Technology Group, and the $10,000 investment we're looking for is in our platform sales enablement called Optimus. Hello? There we go. So we're an IT advisory firm, and these are the specialty areas that we advise in. When we built this company about a year and a half ago, one of the things that we did is we invested in building a team of solution architects. These are former CIOs. These are folks that are very heavy in finance, healthcare, construction as well, and they helped us build a very, very strong PMP practice. What we had initially intended to do was to build almost a mini Deloitte, where we would go in and focus our conversations on digital transformation. And what we would do is some folks want to step through that process to the cloud, and others want to jump in right away. So most of our initial work was based on going in, doing those types of small projects that would then result in those companies being able to advance their business. What we learned right away is you've got this unique opportunity, once you're uniquely positioned like that, to bring in these other partners of ours that we had and deliver services. So one of the things that we've been focused on trying to do over the next year is to build out really an IT brokerage house. And, am I doing it wrong again? There we go. So in 2018, we had planned to build out this Optimus platform. And essentially what this would allow us to do is by building tools, okay, for our agents out there, we would be able to have salespeople basically bolt into the platform that we were building that would allow them to take advantage of the solution architects and the PMP practice that we have on the high end, and then deliver those solutions from our managed service providers into their end users. One of the challenges that all of our customers are seeing out there is how can they digitally transform their business and take advantage of cloud? Well, one of the things that we saw on the sales enablement side is this cycle that we were seeing with salespeople up in the local area. We have a lot of startups up in Boston. And what ends up happening is you end up getting a lot of these VC-backed businesses that have a single product. They find their product market fit. They get $1 to $50 million to invest in it. And they go out and they try to find these enterprise reps that are either vertically focused or they have these accounts that they know very, very well. And the idea is for that first year, they're going to go hit on GE and Goldman and Citi or Fidelity or State Street or pick your enterprise account. But in that year, either the timing's right or wrong for them to deliver this shiny new VC-backed toy into their environment, or it isn't. And after that year, people walk away frustrated. You've got the companies that made the investment in these folks are dissatisfied because the deals haven't come through. And then these reps that have taken these very, very strong relationships with these accounts and trying to introduce this product, they decide after a year it's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. They leave and both sides walk away disappointed. Well, because of the way we've built our business, where we've got the project management and we've got the relationships with these billable deals that we have, and then the ability to deliver this platform of services in on the back end, we've got a unique opportunity, we think, to really build out an agent program. You know, strictly speaking, when we first started investing our time in the partnership in with Telarus, we saw somebody who had done this very, very well, and we want to do it on our own up in the Massachusetts area. Why am I struggling with this? So this is the Optimus platform. So it's basically sales operations on demand. You've got your communications platform. You've got your workflow platform. You've got NFP, which is an HR and benefits platform as well. Because when a lot of these salespeople have come to us and said, I want to start my own consultancy, well, they don't know how to build their own business. They don't understand all the different operational elements that go into making this sing. Hatchbook, which is a CRM and marketing optimization tool. The cloud accounting that allows us to bill and to do some of the work there so that we can keep the operations going. And then Phone Burner, which is the sales enablement tool. We're going to build this into a single platform so that as we bring agents on, we can bolt them into our business. They get access to the tools, they get access to our project management methodology, and they get access to our partners. Okay. And so once we bring these folks on board, the first thing we're going to do is build momentum. We've got this methodology where in those first 2 to 3 weeks that we bring them on board, we walk them through how we sell. We give them the tools that they'll have so that they can run their own businesses. And this is part of the area where we need investment so we can help develop this. And then there's the marketing. So we've also got a marketing engine in there that all of these agents can tap into. We focus on 2 solutions a quarter. We've got supporting material, and we've got a whole methodology around webinars so that we can help them drive demand. So how many out there were at one time working for a large company, and before you decided to go out on your own, you decided, hey, I was going to build this business. How tough was it for those first 2 years to actually build the operations? Did you spend more time building the tools, building the processes, and not enough time focusing on your customers? So what we're trying to do here, between the building of the tools, the marketing, I'm really struggling with this, and then the measurement, what this allows our agents to do is focus immediately on the customer and stay very, very close to those customers, okay? So what we're asking for is, for this $10,000 investment, we will in the first 6 months make investments, further additional investment in the tools. We're going to spend roughly $3,500 in the platform development. What we would eventually like to be able to do is have all of our agents access in through a portal and be able to access all of these tools so they can run their business. But what we think is really important is that initial onboarding. As soon as you get agents on board that start selling and working with us and talking to their customers and start getting into the process, we want to be able to continue to educate them, and we want to be able to glean information from them, because they're going to be the lifeblood of this 18 to 24-month project we have to build this piece of our business out. So the yield would be in the first 6 to 8 months, be able to onboard 10 agents. And we think because of the relationships that we know they would bring, because of the focus on digital transformation and the tools we can provide, we feel we can build about $1 million in weighted pipeline. Okay, and there's a very, very, very big focus on MRR, both in our methodology and with everyone that we talk to. They understand that's the way the business is going. Companies want to be able to buy services, managed services. They don't want to be able to buy, they're not looking to buy products anymore. They're focused on what is going to, and that'll mean $100,000 in monthly recurring revenue for Telarus in the next year as well. So, thank you.
So I think you know we're always excited about enabling partners. And what you mentioned at the beginning I think was interesting, and you're going after verticals. You talked about a Deloitte type engagement, which I think in the future we'll see a lot more of. I've always thought of it as an Accenture. It's same concept.
Idea.
So you said you're engaging these partners, former CIOs with vertical experience. Do you have some you're working with now? Do you have a pipeline you're bringing in?
Yeah, we do. So we've got 7 folks that are on staff. 3 of them, our CIO was the former CIO of Altiris Health. We've got 2 other folks on board that were VPs of IT at Fidelity and at Putnam. We also bought a company. We've been in business for about 1.5 years. We bought a company about 8 months ago that was led by the former CIO of a town in Massachusetts, gets us on the state contracts. We've got a public sector business that we're building as well. And these folks are, they've got serious industry chops. When we bring them into an account after we've vetted it out, they bring a lot of credibility. They're very, very heavily focused on the PMP aspect of this. And typically what that does is it builds credibility so that, again, as they make recommendations at the end of their deliverable to bring these managed services in, we've got that ability to continue the sales cycle. So we look at it, Josh, the CEO, and I do a lot of the business development and take a lot of the meetings. We're focused on what I would call business leaders. We don't focus on titles or CIO or VP. They're obviously good indicators. We want people that are change agents, that have the ability to make these types of decisions, because they're the ones that are going to be heavily focused on outcomes. And those are the types of conversations we want to have. Like, for example, we were in at a very, very large, even though we're focused on financial, healthcare, and public sector, we had a meeting with a company that's a packaged goods company, and they've gone from $600 million to $2 billion in the last 4 years. And their CEO they've sold everything through Target, Bed Bath Beyond, Walmart. The CEO put a goal out there. They were going to grow their online business, which is $100 million, 100% year over year. Well, throughout the relationships we had, even though that wouldn't seem like something we would focus on as an IT provider or an IT consultant, we went in there to talk to them about managed SAP. Through our relationships, we tapped into somebody that had this exact same problem 5 years ago. We were put in touch with the consultants they use. We brought them into the fold. They're now an agent of ours, and we did a $100,000 piece of business where, for a 10-week engagement, where we're focusing on helping them organize themselves so they can leverage Amazon that much better. So, and behind that, we're going to be able to deliver all these services. Once we build that trust, we can start building these services in underneath. So we feel that that PMP business is a weapon for ours, and it's going to be something that's going to help us attract agents.
Go ahead. Oh, thanks, Gary. Tremendous job, Bob. We appreciate you participating today. I love the concept. I saw a lot of the $10,000 is going towards software and platform development, which is kind of what strikes a chord with me. Having been through that many times and seeing my team go through it and knowing that the budgets, that's probably like 10 minutes of Shantae's time. So, no, I'm just kidding. What percentage, you split it out between development and platform. Are you going to start with an existing platform and modify that, or are you going to build like a platform from scratch?
So we've built, it's really more of a program at this point. We've brought those tools together. The development of those, we use internal resources to do it. So the way I came up with those numbers because for really every hour that somebody's working, one of our project folks is working on developing this, that's $100 worth of cost to me, or pick your number. So we expect it would be 20 to 30 hours of development to get to all of these tools to the point where there's some integration. And we probably will put a wrapper over that so that we can do that. That's something we're focused on doing next year. What we want to do is get it to the point so that we can, as soon as we start bringing agents on board, they can start leveraging these tools. We've got a methodology they use, and that way they can focus on the customer and they can use these tools to run their business.
Do you have the platform in place now and you just need to modify it and kind of grow it up a little bit? Or?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
We've got all of those with the exception of Phone Burner, and we need to do a little bit more with Hatchbuck. That requires a more sophisticated license and upgrading the license. But once we do that, we feel, and again, this is something we were heavily focused on for 2018, but we're going to be able to start that this summer with the $10,000 infusion.
What's the cost? Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. What's the cost of pushing that platform out to a partner?
When you say pushing that onto a partner, you mean what is the cost of bringing someone on?
Presumably there's licenses involved in everything that you've got built into the platform.
That's correct.
If you're pushing it out to a good-sized partner that's got 10 or 15 or 20 salespeople, are you doing seat licenses, or is it?
Within the first year, we are doing that. Within the first year, we're focused on bringing individuals on. For smaller shops that can come in. We're not as focused. We would certainly look at the opportunity to bring someone bigger on and would build a financial model on that. But for right now, we're looking to bring on, and we've got a half a dozen folks that are already kind of chomping on the bit to come on. So we've built agent agreements with them. We haven't rolled out the tool set, and we've kind of told them that's coming. And once that does come, we'll modify the agreement so that we can cover our costs. But more importantly, allow them to focus on being close to the customer.
Great. And one more short follow-up on that.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've got some financial and healthcare expertise on the tech team. Is that the vertical you're going after, or the couple of verticals you're going after?
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time with first, second, and third meetings. It's interesting as you talk to these business leaders. They especially in the financial vertical, they want to talk about systems. Where we see a huge opportunity, candidly, for you guys and for us with you. Is one of the areas that they do not want to continue to invest people in, one of the areas that they do not want to continue to invest time and energy, and they look at as an opportunity to save money, is telco expense management. We're seeing multiple opportunities, for that. So, and that's really, where we're focusing on the financial. We've started kind of catering our conversation to that and doing some marketing around it. On the healthcare space, it's more around phone systems as well. And communication tools. So a lot of AV, there as well. So we're seeing that. And then finally, in the public sector, it's everything. There's a lot of Telarus services that we're driving in the public sector right now. So.
To add on to Patrick's question, how much skin in the game, actual capital, have you put into the Optimus platform? My first question. And then second one would be, any plans to build APIs into GeoQuote?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to do that on the GeoQuote side. We want to automate this as much as possible. So that's why, eventually when we were dry running this last week, one of our consultants who wasn't aware that we were doing this, he's out doing billable work and kind of focused on that, has said, when can I build the API, for this, and who are we going to hook it into, for our partners? So that's definitely on the roadmap. For us, it's, a little under $4,800 a month that we're spending now on some of these solutions right now. That's not including some marketing that we're doing, kind of ad hoc to make sure our name gets out there. So, but for us, it's very, very simple. We've got an opportunity this year, okay, to impact our ability to roll out, our platform. And one of the things we love about the Telarus business is the ability to build that recurring revenue stream. And it's a 2 to 3 year plan for us. We figure, but it takes 5 to 6 months to get that stuff rolled out, so we can do that in 2017 instead of 2018. So we're very excited.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, well, listen, I don't know if you've ever had to stand up and present kind of, well, your baby, or literally your baby, to a group of people. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. It's a little uncomfortable. And let's give a huge hand to all three of them. That was awesome. Okay, my friends, this is the moment of truth. If we'll pretend like we're in 5th grade just for a second. I'm not trying to insult you, but I need to help you figure out how to do this. It's not as easy as it looks, apparently. So everybody grab their smartphone. Go to the Telarus app. Now, before you jump into it, some of you might not be able to get to the voting because your app needs to refresh. And I know you can't see this, but if you go back to the main page, up at the top, there's one of those little circly things that means you're refreshing. So if you don't see the voting link in the agenda, but you touch the little circly refresh guy on the home page, it'll get you back there. If you do not understand any of the words I just said and are sitting next to somebody who might be a millennial, they can make this happen for you, okay? I have Sean in our marketing department help me with stuff all the time. In fact, I actually say, millennial moment, and he knows exactly what I need. So if you go to today's agenda and you tap Shark Tank, when I do that and I scroll down to the bottom, I can see it says Shark Tank Vote. When I touch that, it brings up a Shark Tank Vote select a winner. Jack Baum Group, On Track, and Norwell. That's slightly out of order. Remember, On Track went first, Jack Baum was second, Norwell's third. Doesn't actually matter. It's not alphabetical. It actually looks like it's random. Good for us. This is the time to vote. Everybody gets a single vote. Again, if you're having trouble with your device, maybe raise your hand. We'll figure out if we can help you. If you don't see the link that lets you vote, you probably need to refresh the app. Okay? We're going to take, you're having a, oh, wow, it's one of my guys. That's great. There's no reason why not. We're going to aggregate all of that. We're going to play some music, or else I'm going to do a little karaoke. I don't know. You're going to have about 3 minutes. If you want to discuss it amongst the people sitting next to you, what you think, that's okay too. Yeah, I'll be happy to show you. Are we having a problem down here? So do you see, if you scroll, do you see where
bunch of your peers. Not that everyone in the audience is a harsh critic, but you're obviously an expert group. So getting out there and kind of putting that out is a challenge. I was impressed with all of the ideas. I think a couple of them probably need a little bit more development in terms of how they scale over time instead of just being a kind of a one-off. I think one of the
Kerry,
things.
not to interrupt. I was just told to announce that the voting's closed. We're now in the tabulation phase. Okay. Continue.
I'll make it quick. I think it's critical for all three of them to keep a really tight focus in the early stages of launching this new plan. I think one of the challenges we often have in this industry is thinking that, hey, I'm gonna focus on every vertical and every size customer, and the old cliche is very true. If you focus on everything, you don't focus on anything.
Yeah, to really narrow in on what you want to do and do it better than everybody else, or at least have some sort of competitive advantage, that's a great formula for success. Trying to do a little bit of everything for everyone usually you end up like my uncle, who's chased his whole life and never quite caught, right? Patrick, we all look at you as a big idea guy. A lot of what we have and who we are is ideas that have come from you. You get a closing word a little bit on idea generation and what it takes to actually pull stuff off. And you don't just have ideas, you get stuff done. So let's hear from you.
I'm just excited that we had the opportunity to have this Shark Tank competition at all, because it caused not just the three people here up on stage, but it caused a lot of other people to kind of pause what they're doing and think about what's coming next. That's really one of the advantages I have as being a co-founder with Adam of Telarus, is that I'm not in the day-to-day. I don't have a team that reports to me. I just get to sit and go for a long run and think. And I think and I think and I think. I come up with ideas. And this, again, has allowed a lot of people to pause and stop giving order status updates to their customers for a second, right? You're welcome.
That's beautiful.
And really figure it out. And I've been to a lot of places and a lot of conferences in this industry where it almost seemed like it was an idea vacuum. Like we were trying to take existing ideas and maybe polish it up a little bit and tweak it a little bit, but nothing revolutionary. No one thinking of like, what's the new technology and how can I capitalize on it? It's more, how can I maybe sell 10 circuits instead of 8, or just the small tweaks. I like how all of the people really kind of came out of their comfort zone. One person's going to develop a platform. I know that Tony Francisco from Cloud Plus has ran it. He built his own platform, very similar, so I'd highly recommend you network with Tony. He probably has a lot of notes he could share with you. I also like the fact of almost becoming a mini wireless supplier and really bonding all those together. That was really cool. And last but not least, the video. I mean, I was impressed. Again, being a marketing person, knowing what it goes, it's amazing. And so for me, what it does is it gives me some sense of positivism, a bright outlook on the future. Not only are the technologies evolving, but our partners are evolving and they're thinking of new things. The scariest thing that any business can face is a lack of new ideas. It's like, okay, we're doing our current thing, but what are we going to do tomorrow? And that's scary. And I've been in organizations where that idea reservoir has dried out a little bit, and people almost started panicking, like, what's next? Yeah, I don't have that panic here. Seeing these three presentations really gives me a very, very optimistic view for the future. And hopefully you guys, when you see Telarus coming out with new technology as well, it's just a very optimistic view of what's coming, and people are thinking about it, and they're going through the brain cycles, and it's just a very, very, very exciting time.
One of the things that I thought of also while I was hearing the presentations was if some of you out in the audience heard something that resonated with you, regardless of what takes place here, you can go make that connection and say, hey, Bill, I like what you're doing, or hey, Rob, I really was excited about what you're working on. Let's work together. And that's another cool benefit of being able to present these ideas. Well, apparently I've been given the audited results. Maybe, I don't know. I'm nervous about this. I think it's been verified. We do need an auditor here. Rob.
Hey, Adam used to work at KPMG, just for the record.
Where are our three contestants? Would they come on up for just a second? And Zane, are you in the wings? Good. Okay, so we have On Track, Norwell, and the Jack Baum Group. Thank you very much. Yeah, you guys take center. Thank you. Unbelievable job, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's give them a hand. And the winner of the first ever Telarus Shark Take event is On Track Communications. And here to present the $10,000 award is our CFO, Zane. And Zane's not excited about handing someone this big a check. I can tell you, he's a little uncomfortable giving away a check that big. Bill, congratulations. Let's get a photograph with Bill and our Sharks and give him one final hand. Thanks, guys. And again, congratulations to everybody who participated. That was absolutely terrific. Bryce, if you are in the wings after this photograph, sir, I believe it is your stage.
All right, folks, how about a hand for our Sharks one more time? Fantastic presentation. Congratulations, Bill. I think it was the socks. All right. If you would please pull out your phone, and I just verified because I have an Android that this will actually work, and go into the agenda. Let's just talk through a couple of logistics. You have time right now until 10:30. There's a break. But there are a couple things that you can do right now. If you haven't had your portrait taken downstairs, it's a great time to go do that. If you haven't been to the UC lab, it's a great time to go do that. There's some time for conversations and some food in the back. But what we would love to have you do is in the agenda, if you were to open this up, we have group sessions, breakout sessions for the next little bit. So the first three, Carrie Huzzy, where's Carrie? There she is. Go and work with the lovely Carrie, and she will teach you all about circuit monitoring. You can hear from China Telecom to hear about how to sell international, or you can stick around here and hear from Justin and Patrick, and they will do a deep dive into LinkedIn. So you've got a half hour. Enjoy. We'll see you back in 30 minutes, all right? Thanks.